The fall. My name is Brooke Elaine Westfield. I'm 15 years old. On the afternoon of April 17th, something happened that changed my life, and maybe yours too. That day, I died. It was a normal Saturday in Colorado. My best friend Maddie and I were hiking the Eagle Ridge Trail. The skies were blue when we started, but mountain weather changes fast. About 2 miles in, I felt a strange pressure in my chest. I have mild asthma, so I assumed I was just winded. But this didn't feel like asthma. It felt like something heavy had settled over me. I told Maddie I needed to rest. We found a spot off the trail. And then everything went black. The next thing I knew, I wasn't in my body anymore. I felt light, like I was floating in air. I could see Maddie kneeling beside me, screaming for help into her phone. My body was motionless on the ground, but I was hovering above it, watching from somewhere near the treetops. And then I felt a pull. Gentle but firm, like a hand reaching through water, drawing me upward. Everything around me began to glow. Not like the harsh brightness of the sun, but like golden light passing through stained glass. It wrapped around me with warmth, safety, and peace. I moved through what felt like a tunnel, but it wasn't scary. It felt like going home, like all the fear and noise of the world had been left behind. When I emerged, I saw the most radiant light I'd ever encountered. It wasn't just light, it was love. And there, standing in the center of it all, was Jesus. I didn't grow up religious. Church was more of a Christmas and Easter thing with Grandma. But the moment I saw him, I knew. This wasn't a figure from stained glass windows. He didn't look exactly like the paintings. He was tall, strong, glowing, and his eyes held something I can only describe as infinite love and total understanding. "Brooke," he said, and just hearing my name in his voice brought me to tears. The meeting. His voice didn't boom. It was gentle, almost like a melody, but it didn't enter through my ears. It went straight into my heart. "Am I dead?" I asked. "Your body is between worlds," he said, smiling. "But I wanted to speak with you." He reached out his hand. The moment I touched it, I felt a flood of love, pure and healing, wash over me. It was like every wound I didn't know I carried was being gently mended. Then something remarkable happened. My entire life flashed before my eyes, not just the big moments, but small ones too. Acts of kindness I'd forgotten, helping a stranger pick up groceries, comforting a classmate crying in the bathroom, giving my lunch to a homeless man. But I also saw my failings, every lie, every cruel word, every moment I hurt someone. And yet, through it all, Jesus never looked away. He didn't scold me. He loved me through all of it. I realized then that his love wasn't based on performance. It just was. "There's something I need to show you," he said gently. "Something important for you to understand and share." The glowing space around us shifted. We were suddenly standing on what looked like a cloud, solid under our feet. Below us appeared a living map of Earth. I could see mountains, oceans, cities. Jesus extended his hand. "These are 3 events you must witness," he said. "Not to cause fear, but to prepare hearts." And then the visions began. The rising waters. The first vision was the most visually overwhelming. I saw oceans rising. Massive storms lashed coastlines. Familiar cities, Miami, New York, Tokyo, were flooding. Water surged through downtown streets like rivers. But I didn't just see it. I felt it, the panic, the helplessness, the fear of those experiencing it. "The earth groans," Jesus said softly. "Creation is crying out. What you see is the acceleration of natural patterns. Waters will rise faster than expected. The islands will cry out first, but many lands will follow." Tears rolled down my face. The destruction was immense. But then, something changed. As the waters came, so did the helpers. Strangers opened their homes. Countries shared resources. Churches became shelters. I saw enemies become allies. People prayed. People served. And amid the chaos, love bloomed. In great trial comes great unity, Jesus explained. Hearts will turn toward one another, and many will find me there. It struck me how darkness couldn't stop the light. Even in disaster, there was beauty. The vision faded. I stood next to Jesus again, shaken but strangely hopeful. This is only the first, he said, but remember, what matters is not the disaster, but how hearts respond. The darkness. The second vision began with a flicker. Then cities went dark. One by one, power grids failed. No lights. No internet. No phones. People panicked, confused, disconnected. Jesus stood beside me. What man built as his tower has also become his crutch, he said. And soon it will falter. But as the screens went dark, something unexpected happened. People came outside. Neighbors who'd never spoken shared meals by candlelight. Families gathered. Children played outside again. People talked, laughed, cried, and connected. When the lights of man go out, Jesus said, "My light shines brighter." In the silence, many will finally hear me. It was profound. So much of modern life is filled with noise, constant distraction. But in the quiet, something sacred was returning. The vision ended. And again I felt torn, sad for what was lost, but deeply moved by what was found. The fire and the promise. The third vision came suddenly, a burst of fire across the skies. It wasn't like anything I'd seen before. Cities burned. Not just physically, but spiritually. I saw hatred erupt. Nations rising against nations. Families divided. Churches arguing, breaking apart. The air was heavy with confusion. This is the fire of division, Jesus said. But it is also the fire of refining. Then I saw people falling to their knees, not in despair, but in repentance. In hidden places, garages, parks, basements, groups began to gather. Not for performance. Not for status. Just to worship. Just to pray. They read the scriptures with new eyes. They didn't care about denominations, politics, or fame. They just wanted truth. These were not megachurches or stadiums. These were the humble, the broken-hearted, the seeking, and they were everywhere. This is the remnant, Jesus said. The fire will not destroy them. It will purify them. I understood then that God wasn't causing the fire, but He would use it. The shaking would reveal what was fake and ignite what was real. And then Jesus turned to me and said something I'll never forget. The future will not be easy, Brooke. But neither will it be hopeless. My people will rise. My voice will be heard. And my return will not delay forever. A great hush fell over the atmosphere. Like creation itself was holding its breath. The return. Jesus, I asked, my voice trembling, when will you return? He didn't answer with a date or a chart. Instead, he looked into my soul and said, I am closer than you think. Then he lifted his hand, and I saw a vision more radiant than anything before. A flash across the sky. Trumpets blaring. The heavens opening. Millions rising in joy. The skies swirled with light, and the earth paused in awe. I saw Jesus on a white horse, a robe dipped in glory, eyes like flames. Behind him came angels and saints, singing in every language, every tongue. Not in fear, but in overwhelming joy. The King was coming not to destroy, but to make all things new. Tears fell from my eyes. It was too beautiful for words. But I also saw something sobering. Many weren't ready. Not because they were bad, but because they had chosen distraction. They had silenced the whisper in their heart that called them home. They didn't expect me, Jesus said. Even though I whispered every day, then he turned to me again. This is why I've shown you all of this. Not to frighten, but to awaken. You must tell them. Tell them I am real. That my return is sure. That my love is greater than their doubt. The decision. I stood there, overwhelmed. But I'm just a 15-year-old girl, I whispered. What can I do? Jesus smiled, and I swear the whole sky lit up with that smile. You have a voice, Brooke, and I will give you the words. Just speak. He placed his hand over my heart. Warmth flooded through me. "Tell them I love them," he said. "Tell them I see their pain. Tell them I'm not distant. I'm at the door. And I'm knocking." His words burned into my spirit. Then everything began to fade. The glowing realm, his face, the heavenly sound, it all slowly dimmed. I felt myself pulled backward, like falling through a tunnel of light. The last thing I heard before waking was his voice. "Wake up, Brooke. And remember, the return to life." I gasped and opened my eyes. Maddie was still there, sobbing. Paramedics were hovering above me. One of them shouted, "We've got a pulse." They said I had been gone for nearly 6 minutes. But I wasn't the same girl they carried down that mountain. In the weeks that followed, I told everyone what I saw. At first, people thought I was dreaming or hallucinating. But I know what I experienced. I know who I met. And every night since then, I've heard the same quiet whisper in my spirit. "Tell them I'm coming." This isn't about religion. It's about love, about truth, about the one who made you and who wants you to know he sees you, he knows you, and he died to save you. If you're reading this, it's not by accident. Jesus is real. His return is near. And he's calling you, not with condemnation, but with arms wide open. He changed my life. And he wants to change yours.